Have you ever noticed an older parent or grandparent eating less and less? Yet somehow they do not look lighter and healthier. They look smaller and more tired. Have you ever heard someone proudly say they always stop at 7/10 full? And then a few months later they start walking slower, feeling colder, getting dizzy more easily, and losing the spark in their eyes. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about a health belief that sounds wise, and sometimes it is, but after age 70 it can quietly turn into a trap if you hold it too tightly. The belief is simple. Stop at 7/10 full. Eat less. Keep the stomach light. Keep the body clean. Many people treat it like a lifelong rule, almost like a spiritual vow. But here is the problem. After age 70, the script changes. The body changes its economics. The appetite changes. The muscles change. The immune system changes. Recovery changes. If you keep using the same rule without adjusting, you may accidentally save food while spending your strength. I want to put two ideas in your hands right away so you can listen with a clear mind. First, after age 70, one of the biggest dangers is not only eating too much, it is eating too little. And especially eating too little of the right building materials. Protein, energy, and key nutrients become more important than many people realize. If those are missing for months, the body does not just get slimmer. The body starts to shrink in the wrong places. Muscles fade. Balance weakens. Immunity drops. Then a small cold becomes a long illness. A small stumble becomes a serious fall. Life starts to feel like you are walking on thin ice. Second, real wellness is not war. It is not fighting food. It is not treating the body like an enemy. The deeper path is the middle way. Not indulgence, not self-punishment. Nourish the body with wisdom. Calm the mind with mindfulness, and hold yourself with compassion. When the heart is stable, the habits become stable. When the habits become stable, the body gets the steady care it needs. And this is not only about health, it is also about destiny. Because the way you care for yourself shapes your later years, your family harmony, and even the inner peace you carry when life becomes uncertain. Let me tell you a scene that many families will recognize. In my old neighborhood there was a woman everyone called Auntie May. Early 70s, disciplined, proud of her self-control. She had a phrase she repeated like a prayer. I have eaten 7/10 full my whole life. She said it with a calm smile, like it proved she understood life. She did not eat much at any meal. A small bowl of rice, a few vegetables, sometimes a clear soup. She avoided meat because she feared fat. She avoided eggs because she feared cholesterol. She avoided milk because she thought it would upset her stomach. She avoided tofu because she said it caused bloating. She avoided nuts because she said they were too rich. She avoided almost everything that could rebuild her body, and she called it discipline. At first, nothing dramatic happened. She still went to the market. She still chatted with neighbors. She still watered her plants. So the family believed her. She is doing wellness, they thought. Then the slow change began. The kind of change you do not notice until it becomes obvious. One day she started saying she felt cold even in mild weather. She wore extra layers. She warmed her hands on a cup of hot water. Another day she said her legs felt like they did not belong to her, like they were made of soft wood. She began pausing after a few steps. Her breathing got shorter on stairs. Her voice got quieter. Her eyes looked less bright. When her daughter asked, "Are you eating enough?" Auntie May lifted her chin and said she was very healthy because she ate less. She said the stomach burden was small, so the body would not get sick. But the body was already speaking a different language. The body was not celebrating. The body was asking for help. One afternoon she tried to carry a small grocery bag up the steps and her knees trembled. Not because the bag was heavy, because she was carrying herself. And the muscles that used to do that job had been quietly laid off. Her daughter noticed her arms too. They looked thinner, but not in a youthful way. The skin looked looser. The strength looked missing. Anti-May laughed it off and said it was normal aging. Here is the truth that too many people learn too late. Aging is natural, but weakness is not always unavoidable. Sometimes weakness is built slowly through underfeeding, undermoving, and living in fear of food. I want you to feel this deeply, because the mistake is common. Many older adults do not become frail overnight. They become frail one small meal at a time. Now, why does this happen after age 70 more than earlier? Because the body changes how it uses protein. Many researchers describe something called anabolic resistance. In simple language, the older body often needs a stronger signal to rebuild muscle. The same small amount of protein that worked in your 40s may not be enough in your 70s. The body also tends to have less appetite, and many older adults feel full quickly. This is sometimes called the anorexia of aging, a natural shift that can become dangerous if it leads to long-term low intake. So if you eat less and less while also losing the ability to rebuild easily, you get a double loss. You lose muscle faster, and you rebuild muscle slower. That is the perfect recipe for frailty. And frailty is not only a medical word. It is a daily life word. It means you get tired sooner. It means you fear falling. It means you stop going out. It means you become isolated. It means your world shrinks. Then your mood drops. Then your appetite drops even more. Then the cycle tightens. Anti-May was inside that cycle. Her daughter tried the most common approach first. She tried logic. She said, "You need more protein. You need more nutrition. You cannot keep eating like a bird." Anti-May got offended. She felt judged. She felt like her lifelong discipline was being called foolish. Her pride rose like a shield. She said, "Do not try to teach me. I have lived longer than you." Now the daughter was stuck in a familiar family conflict. When you push, the older parent pushes back. When you argue, they dig in deeper. Everyone gets tense. The food becomes battlefield. This is where wisdom matters. And this is where the middle way is not only about diet. It is about relationship. The daughter changed her strategy. She stopped attacking the belief. She honored the intention behind it. She said, "Your self-control is wonderful. You have taken care of yourself for decades. That is why you are still here. Still walking. Still sharp." But the body changes with age. The building materials your body needs now are different. We are not abandoning your discipline. We are updating it. Notice what she did. She protected her mother's dignity first. Because when you protect dignity, you protect connection. When you protect connection, you can guide change gently. This is also compassion. Not soft weakness, but skillful warmth. The kind of compassion that actually saves lives. Then the daughter made the change small enough that it did not trigger fear. She did not say, "Eat a huge steak." She did not say, "Eat until full." She did not say, "Break your rule." She said, "Keep 7/10 full if you want, but let us make the 7/10 more nourishing." That sentence is a key. Many older adults do not need more volume. They need more density. If you eat a small amount of only vegetables and rice, you may be full but underbuilt. If you eat a small amount that includes enough protein and energy, you can stay light while staying strong. So the daughter began with breakfast. Many older adults eat a very light breakfast. A little porridge, maybe a piece of bread, sometimes only tea. Then they wonder why they feel weak by late morning. The daughter made breakfast a gentle rebuild meal. She cooked a soft egg, or scrambled egg with a little fish, or tofu with warm broth, or yogurt if tolerated. She made it easy to chew and easy to digest. She did not force, she invited. She also paired it with a short walk, not a workout, a small walk after the meal. Because food and movement work together. Protein gives building blocks. Movement tells the body to use those blocks to rebuild muscle. This is a deep law. The body listens to action. If you eat protein but never move, the signal to build is weaker. If you move a little and eat enough protein, the signal becomes stronger. Even simple resistance movements, like standing up from a chair repeatedly, or slow leg lifts, can send a message. Keep this body, keep these muscles. We still need them. Anti-May resisted at first. She said she felt too full. She said she did not want egg. She said it was too rich. The daughter did not argue. She made it softer and smaller. Half an egg, a few bites of tofu, a spoon of yogurt. The point was not to win one meal. The point was to change the pattern. This is how real practice works. Not dramatic, not extreme, not rushed. Small, steady, compassionate. After 2 weeks, Anti-May started sleeping slightly better. After a month, her legs felt a little less shaky. She still got tired, but she recovered faster after resting. The daughter noticed she stopped rubbing her hands for warmth as much. Her face looked a little more alive. Then something happened that made the lesson emotional. Anti-May met a neighbor friend in the hallway. A man about the same age. He had been strict about eating less too. He had become thinner and weaker. One day he had a small fall. Nothing dramatic at first, but the fall led to fear. Fear led to less movement. Less movement led to more weakness. More weakness led to another fall. The spiral tightened. Anti-May watched him and suddenly felt fear. Not healthy fear, but panic fear. She came home and said, "I do not want to become like that." This is an awakening moment, not a philosophical awakening. A practical awakening. The moment you realize your belief might be costing you your freedom. Freedom is what muscle gives you. Freedom to walk. Freedom to stand. Freedom to carry groceries. Freedom to travel. Freedom to live without constant fear. This is why nutrition after 70 is not vanity. It is independence. Now, I want to pause the story and bring you into a deeper understanding. Because if you only hear, eat more protein, you might miss the real point. The real point is not to chase a number. The real point is to stop treating undereating as virtue. Many older adults think eating less equals being clean, being disciplined, being wise. They fear that eating more equals greed, equals losing control, equals sickness. That fear is understandable. Many people have seen friends suffer from diabetes or high blood pressure. Many people fear cholesterol. Many people fear weight gain. So they choose the one strategy that feels safe. Eat less. But safety is not always safety. Sometimes safety is only a story the mind tells. The body has its own truth. After 70, the body may tolerate a bit more nourishment better than it tolerates constant shortage. And the shortage does not always show up as hunger. It often shows up as weakness, coldness, dizziness, poor wound healing, frequent infections, slower recovery, low mood, and shrinking strength. If you want a simple image, think of your body as a house. In youth, the house repairs itself quickly. In older age, repairs slow down. If you also cut the repair materials, the house cannot maintain itself. The walls get thinner, the stairs feel steeper, the wind feels colder. Then you spend your last years trying to survive inside a house that is falling behind on maintenance. The wise choice is not to panic. The wise choice is to maintain gently, consistently. That is the middle way. Now I want to speak directly to caregivers. Because many of you are not only worried about yourself, you are worried about your parents. Caregiving has its own karma. If you enter caregiving with anger and control, you create conflict. Conflict poisons the home. If you enter caregiving with patience and clarity, you create a calmer field. Calm helps appetite. Calm helps sleep. Calm helps healing. This is not just emotional. Stress changes digestion. Stress changes hormone. Stress changes appetite. A tense meal becomes a smaller meal. A warm meal becomes a fuller meal even if the portion stays moderate. That is why family atmosphere is part of nutrition. Anti-May daughter learned this too. She noticed that when she sat down and ate with her mother ate more naturally. When the mother ate alone, she barely touched the food, not because she did not want to eat, because loneliness steals appetite. This is a quiet truth that many families ignore. Older adults may say they are not hungry, but sometimes what they are missing is not only food. It is company. It is warmth. It is conversation. It is the feeling that someone wants to share life with them. When that is missing, the heart shrinks. Then the stomach shrinks. So the daughter began making meals a small ceremony. No big speeches, just presence. A little gratitude. A little humor. A little listening. When the heart softens, the body opens. This is also practice. Mindfulness is not only sitting quietly. It is how you show up for a meal. It is how you chew. It is how you breathe between bites. It is how you treat your body as something worthy of care, not something you must constantly control. Now, let me expand the story with another family. Because one story is not enough to change a belief that has been repeated for decades. A friend of mine had a father in his early 70s. Strong personality. Worked physical jobs in his youth. Proud of his toughness. After retirement, he started watching short videos about wellness. The kind that give simple rules. Eat less. Avoid meat. Avoid egg. Avoid everything. He became obsessed with the rule at 7/10 full. So obsessed that he changed the bowls at home to smaller bowls. He believed smaller bowls meant automatic health. At first the family thought it was cute. Look at him. So disciplined. Then the father became more irritable. He got tired quickly. He started complaining about joint pain. His grip felt weaker. He began avoiding outings because he said he did not have energy. The son tried to convince him with facts. The father refused. The father said, "You want me to eat more so you feel less guilty. Do not control me." This is the emotional trap many caregivers face. The older parent interprets encouragement as control. So the son changed approach. He stopped saying, "Eat more." He started saying, "Let us get stronger." He framed food as strength rather than indulgence. He also brought the father into a new habit, a tiny habit. Every afternoon, they walked together, slowly, for 10 minutes. Not to burn calories, to keep the legs alive. After the walk, the son offered a warm snack that included protein. A small cup of yogurt. A small bowl of soy milk. A soft boiled egg. Sometimes a little fish soup. The portions were not huge. The consistency was gentle. The message was not, "You must eat." The message was, "We are rebuilding." After several weeks, the father began to feel the difference. Not dramatic, but real. He started standing up from the chair with less effort. He stopped complaining about cold hands as much. He became less irritable. His mood improved, and mood is not separate from health. Mood changes appetite, sleep, movement. Movement changes strength. Strength changes mood. Everything is connected. One day the father said something that sounded small but was actually a breakthrough. Maybe I was saving the wrong thing. He meant he was saving food, saving money, saving calories, but losing power. This is the core of today's message. If you save food at the cost of strength, you are not saving. You are spending the most precious currency, the ability to live independently. Now, I want to bring in the deeper spiritual layer, because this channel is not only about tactics. It is about awakening. Many people treat aging like an enemy. They fear it. They resist it. They try to control it with rigid rules. But rigid rules often come from fear, not wisdom. The middle way teaches us to meet reality without extremes. Not indulgence, not self-punishment, not denial, not panic, just steady care. When you eat with fear, you chew fear. When you eat with gratitude, you chew gratitude. The food becomes the same, but the inner state changes the whole experience. The nervous system shifts. Digestion shifts. the body receives better. This is not mystical. It is how stress and calm shape physiology. So I want you to hear this clearly. Compassion is not only for others. Compassion is for yourself, for your older body, for your changing needs, for your softer appetite, for your slower recovery. If you treat your body like a burden, you will neglect it. If you treat it like a partner, you will nourish it. And when you nourish it, it will carry you longer. Now, because this is a long-form video script, I want to go deeper into what actually happens when older adults eat too little, especially too little protein. Muscle is not only about looking fit. Muscle is metabolic. Muscle helps regulate blood sugar. Muscle supports balance. Muscle protects joints by stabilizing movement. Muscle helps you rise from a chair, climb stairs, catch yourself when you slip. Muscle also acts like a reserve. When you get sick, the body uses protein for immune response and healing. If you have little reserve, illness hits harder and lasts longer. This is why low protein intake over time can lead to sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. Sarcopenia is not only weakness, it is a risk multiplier. It increases fall risk. It increases loss of independence. It increases hospitalizations. It increases the chance that a minor problem becomes a major life event. And here is a cruel irony. Many older adults reduce protein because they fear disease. But the shortage makes them more vulnerable. Now, how much protein is enough? Different health organizations and expert groups often suggest higher protein intakes for older adults than the basic minimum for younger adults. Commonly around 1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day for many older adults, with adjustments depending on health status, activity level, and kidney function. Many sources also emphasize spreading protein across meals, because the body uses it better when it is distributed rather than all at once. Research has also discussed that around 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein in a meal can help stimulate muscle protein synthesis in older adults. You do not need to obsess over numbers, but you do need to understand direction. If an older adult is eating tiny portions with almost no protein, that is a red flag. If breakfast is only tea and a small piece of bread, that is a red flag. If lunch and dinner are mostly rice and vegetables with very little protein, that is a red flag. If the person is losing strength, losing balance, feeling dizzy, feeling cold, recovering slowly, getting sick often, that is a red flag. And this matters even more if the person is already frail, already underweight, or already recovering from illness. Now, because this is health content, I also need to say something with care. Not every older adult should suddenly raise protein without guidance. People with certain kidney conditions or other medical issues may need individualized advice. Swallowing issues also change what is safe. Diabetes changes how you balance carbohydrates. So if you are dealing with serious chronic conditions, it is wise to talk with a clinician or dietitian who knows the full picture. But for many older adults, the bigger problem is not excess. It is shortage. Now let us return to anti-May, because her story continues in a way that reveals another hidden factor. Even after she accepted more nourishing meals, she still sometimes refused. On those days, she said, "I just do not feel like eating." The daughter looked closer and realized something. It was not only lack of appetite, it was lack of joy. Anti-May spent many days alone. Her daughter worked. Her friends were busy. The home was quiet. The television talked, but it did not listen. The mind started looping. Worry about health. Worry about money. Worry about becoming a burden. Worry about death. When the mind is full of worry, the stomach tightens. So the daughter did something that looked unrelated to food, but changed everything. She brought him warmth. She invited an anti-friend to visit once a week. She asked her mother to teach a grandchild a simple recipe. She played old music her mother loved while they cooked. She turned the meal into a shared moment rather than a task. And slowly, anti-May appetite returned. This is a powerful lesson. Food is not only nutrition, it is relationship. If you want an older adult to eat well, do not only lecture about nutrients. Build warmth, build belonging, build a calm table. In spiritual terms, you are creating a wholesome environment, a field of peace. Peace supports nourishment. Nourishment supports strength. Strength supports freedom. Freedom supports dignity. Dignity supports peace. Everything connects. Now, I want to share a moment from Auntie May that made me think about awakening. One day she looked at her daughter and said, "I used to think eating less meant I was disciplined, but maybe I was afraid." That sentence is the doorway. Many rigid wellness rules are not wisdom. They are fear disguised as virtue. Fear of weight gain, fear of disease, fear of losing control, fear of aging, fear of death. Fear makes people extreme. But the middle way is not built on fear. It is built on clarity. Clarity says, I will not indulge mindlessly, and I will not starve myself in the name of virtue. I will care for this body as a vehicle of practice. I will keep it strong enough to walk my path. I will keep it nourished enough to serve those I love. I will keep it calm enough to sleep, heal, and live with dignity. That is awakening in daily life. Now, because many of you are listening while caring for an older parent, I want to tell you a caregiver truth that can save you years of conflict. Do not start by attacking the belief. Start by honoring the intention. When an older adult says, I stop at 7/10 full, they are often trying to protect themselves. They are trying to be responsible. They are trying to avoid being a burden. They are trying to feel control in a body that is changing. If you mock them, you trigger shame. If you trigger shame, they will resist even harder. So instead, say something like this in your own words. Your discipline has helped you for decades. I respect it. Let us keep the spirit of it and adjust the method for your current body. Then offer small changes, not big battles, and remember the deeper caregiver teaching. Sometimes saving a life is not about winning an argument. It is about protecting dignity so the person can accept help. In other words, sometimes the most effective wisdom is gentle. Now, I want to expand into another angle that older adults often face: chewing and digestion. Some older adults avoid protein because meat feels hard to chew, or because they feel full quickly, or because they have dental issues, or because their stomach feels sensitive. So the solution is not always more volume. It is often extra in timing. Soft proteins can be easier. Eggs, fish, yogurt, tofu, while cooked legumes if tolerated, tender meats and soups, smoothies with protein, and other gentle options. The best choice depends on culture, preference, and medical conditions, but the principle remains. Make nourishment easy to receive. The body cannot use what it cannot chew. Also, timing matters. Some older adults eat very little in the morning and more at night. But late heavy meals can disrupt sleep. A more balanced distribution across the day can support both energy and recovery. Again, you do not need to make it complicated. Just move one small portion of protein earlier in the day and see what happens. Now I want to talk about movement, because nutrition alone is not enough. If you feed a plant but never give it sunlight, it grows weak. If you feed the body but never give it movement, the signal to build stays low. Older adults do not need extreme workouts. They need consistent, gentle strength signals. Walking is excellent, but adding some simple strength-focused movements can protect muscle more. Standing up from a chair slowly and sitting down slowly. Holding onto a counter and doing small leg lifts. Gentle wall push movements. Simple balance practice near a stable surface. Even small daily practice can change the trajectory. And here is the spiritual layer again. Movement is not punishment. Movement is gratitude. When you move, you are saying to your body, I still need you. I still respect you. I still want to live awake. That attitude matters. Now, Let me return to the original idea of 7/10 full, because I do not want you to misunderstand. Eating until you are uncomfortable is not wise at any age. Mindless snacking is not wise at any age. Excess sugar and ultra-processed food can create problems at any age. So the principle of moderation is valuable. The problem is when moderation becomes shortage. The problem is when the mind turns moderation into fear and pride. The middle way is moderation with nourishment. So if you love the idea of stopping before you feel stuffed, keep that. But update what you eat within that boundary. Include enough protein. Include enough energy. Include enough micronutrients. Hydrate appropriately. Move gently. Sleep as well as you can. Keep social warmth in your life. Reduce stress where possible. This is not a rigid formula. It is the compassionate direction. Now, I want to give you a final emotional scene, because stories are what people remember. Aunt May had a small moment of victory that almost made her cry. She went to a park with her daughter after 2 months of gentler nourishment and daily walking. The daughter asked if she wanted to sit down. Aunt May said, "Not yet. Let us walk a little more." They walked slowly under trees. The air was cool. Aunt May stopped and looked at a group of older women doing gentle movements together. She smiled. She said, "I used to think wellness meant eating less and enduring. Now I think wellness means being kind to myself." That sentence is not only about food. It is about the whole path. Many people treat later life like a time to endure, to disappear quietly. But later life can also be a time to practice wisdom with tenderness, to let go of fear, to nourish the body enough to keep living with dignity, to nourish the heart enough to keep loving with warmth. And when you do that, something changes in the home too. The family becomes less anxious. Meals become less dense. The atmosphere becomes more peaceful. That peace is also health. Now, I want to bring this back to you. Whether you are over 70, approaching 70, or caring for someone who is, if you are over 70, do not let fear disguise itself as virtue. Do not let pride trap you in a rule that no longer serves you. Be brave enough to update. That is wisdom. If you are caring for someone, remember that your tone is part of the medicine. Your patience is part of the meal. Your respect protects dignity, and dignity protects cooperation. Do not fight at the table. Build warmth, then guide gently. And if you are younger watching this, hear the deeper message. Do not wait until later to learn compassion for your own body. Practice the middle way now. Eat with mindfulness. Move with gratitude. Speak with kindness. Sleep with humility. These are seeds. Seeds become your later years. Before we end, I want to say one simple caution again in a natural way. Every body is different. If there are serious chronic conditions like kidney disease, swallowing difficulties, or unstable blood sugar, dietary changes should be discussed with professionals who can tailor the plan. Wisdom includes asking for appropriate help. Now I want to hear from you. Have you seen someone over 70 become weaker while eating less and less? Have you found a gentle way to help an older parent eat more nourishing foods without turning it into a battle? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might be the exact warmth another caregiver needs tonight. If you want more long-form videos that combine practical living with mindfulness and the middle way, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment so more people can find this kind of content. If you want to support deeper content and help keep the channel going, consider joining the membership. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I will see you in the next video.
At the end of the day, we all need something that brings us back to ourselves. Something that reminds us to slow down, breathe, and stay centered. Simple bracelet can do exactly that. Every bead you touch brings your mind back to calm, back to clarity, back to the present moment. If one of the bracelets you just so resonates with you, You can find the purchase link in the video description and explore more beautiful styles in our channel store. Let the one meant for you find its way to your wrist.